Hello, everyone.
Thank you,
I am
Doug and
Jen
Erica.
Ritchie. This is Wildlife Conversations. Wildlife Conversations is not fancy. It's not about me. It's not about a big budget, but it started because Maureen Matson, Jenny Cannon, and I got together after a trip. We had trips to Alaska, and we realized we longed for a place where we could all get together as a community and hear from one another. And then this podcast was born. I wanted it to feel like you've pulled up a chair around the fire or around my table so we could talk as friends. So I hope that you feel that. And I want you to know that you are very welcome. I so appreciate you all being here. It's been so rewarding to hear how you all are supporting one another out in the field and meeting each other out in the field, calling each other. And I feel like there are so many good things to come. One of those good things already is the support from Robert's Camera. They are excited about the podcast too, and have given us an exclusive code and contact person. You can find those in the description, and you can visit robertscamera.com and USEDPHOTOPRO.com to shop small this season for new and used gear. Another good thing is my guest tonight. If you know him in person or on Instagram, you know how kind and supportive he is. His life's work as an eye surgeon has now turned to a new passion, wildlife photography. Whether it's on his ranch in Utah, fishing bears in Alaska, or pumas in Patagonia, he's building a beautiful portfolio and a wonderful community of friends. I look forward to our chat tonight, and I want to welcome Jim Shuler. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much. I'm honored.
Oh, you're welcome. Everyone is already saying hello in the chat. We've got a big crowd tonight. Everyone wants to say hi to Jim. So I see Erica, Jennifer, Pamela, Lobase, Lori, Kate, Jennifer. There's a lot of Jennifers on tonight.
I know. I love it.
Kathy.
It's my daughter's name. It's awesome.
I know. Kristen, Shannon, so many of you. Greg, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We're going to have such a good night tonight. I can already tell. So much energy. Oh, my goodness. Erica and Doug are twizzling with us. We're twizzling back, guys. We're twizzling
Close the
back.
door.
We should have bought Twizzlers. I love how you guys shared that little tradition with me. That's so fun. So where are you talking to us from tonight, Jim?
So I live on a ranch. My wife and I, Casey, we live on a ranch just outside of Park City, Utah.
Oh,
And so we're
fun.
at 8,000 feet elevation. When I woke up this morning, there was 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a special place. It was a place that we retired to 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got, a resident herd of elk of about 300 elk. It's got dozen moose. It's got deer, mountain lions, coyotes, bobcats, foxes. It's
Oh,
great. And a
that's
lot of raptors.
amazing. You could
Yeah,
just step
it's a special
outside.
place.
Yeah.
It's,
And
yeah.
you originally were, go ahead.
No, 90% of my images probably come from the ranch.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is amazing. I'm envious. That is wonderful. You have a little
it's
paradise
special.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you originally lived in California?
Uh-huh. I grew up in California and raised
Mhm.
our family in California. I trained at the Jules Stein Eye Institute there at UCLA and
Yeah,
just kind of stayed in the California area for our practice and
yeah.
raised a family. It's an area of California that doesn't have the best air quality, so I wanted to retire away from there and hope that our kids would kind of use this ranch as a magnet, maybe come and raise their families nearby. And so far,
Yeah.
both our son and daughter have done that exactly that. They're
Oh,
nearby.
that's nice. That's really nice. You couldn't ask for more than that. That's
Yeah, very
really
very
nice.
blessed.
Yeah, my parents live about 4 minutes from me now, so I really like that. Yeah, it's been nice to be together. So your profession before was eye surgeon,
Yes.
and how has that profession informed your wildlife photography now? You mentioned that a little bit before we got on, like we were talking a little bit about that, and you mentioned that in the document I sent. So that was
Yeah.
interesting to me. How does that inform your wildlife photography?
Thank you. So eye surgeries, you might imagine, you do everything most everything through a microscope to
Mhm.
really see the detail of the eye to find if a disease is in the eye or do surgery in the eye. It's all microscopic, microsurgery. So I'm very detail oriented. And
Mm,
so my photography, for those that follow me, know that I'm extremely detail oriented. The eye has to be crisp. Oftentimes I'll try to show people that you can see an image in the reflection on the cornea, maybe at a mountain
oh,
range or a
that's
sunset, right?
interesting.
And so I really love that. My weakness, as you'll come to later, maybe is animal small and frame. I love portrait images that just show how beautiful the wildlife is, the facial expression, the teeth, the drooling, whatever it is. So
Yes,
it's
yes.
influenced me that way. And then, of course, the eye is a camera. And so, when see the light coming through the cornea and through the lens, and the retina is like the film or your
Oh,
sensor.
that's so
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a better camera than we can have, because as you notice with your eye, you can see an animal that's in a shadow, but still see the beautiful mountains. And of course, when we take a picture, you're blowing one out or underexposing the other. So the
Yeah.
camera is not quite as good a sensor, but basically the eye is a beautiful camera.
Oh, that's really cool. That's a neat way to
Yeah.
look at it. And I'm sure when you're focusing in on those animals, you are thinking about their eyes way differently than I would. That's so
I
interesting.
I love the eyes, and so I love owls, but so many photographers are so great at owls. The first thing I look at are those eyes, because they're
Mm,
stunning on owls. Whether the pupils dimly, if it's a big pupil, well, they're shooting in the dark, and if
hmm.
it's a small pupil, they've got a lot of light on that pupil because the pupils are moving. And of course, as I'm sure, owls have independent pupillary reactions where
Hmm.
humans, both pupils react the same, and owl can react differently depending on what side of the head the light is on. So nature's incredible, right? What it has done to maximize the animal's, benefit. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is, I'm gonna have to look at things differently that you said those things.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm always looking at the pupils. I'm gonna have to
yeah,
look a little more, the size of the pupils and all that. That's
it's
really
pretty neat.
interesting. So do you have, what sparked this? Do you have memories as a child, or did it start just now, later in life?
Uh, as an adult, I mean, I've loved wildlife since I was a kid. I would go out with
Yeah,
my brothers and my dad. We'd go out fishing and hiking, and outdoors was a main thing for our
yeah,
family.
yeah.
And so I've just always loved that. And then as a young adult, we would travel to, Jackson Hole or to Park City, or we'd drive places. And oftentimes there'd be a store that had just beautiful wildlife photography. And the first one
Mm-hmm.
that I really fell in love with was Thomas Mengelson's.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in and I looked and I just went, unbelievable. How do you get those kind of images like that? I
Yeah,
can't get anywhere near animals. And here this guy's getting just stunning images.
yeah.
And so that was always in my mind. Could I ever do something similar? And so through my life, I just started thinking when we moved to the ranch and I retired, I needed, a lot of hobbies and passions, but I thought, could I do something like that? Well, my photography really was bad at first, but I just practiced and practiced and practiced and got a little bit better equipment, and then started just falling in love with photography. And if I could show someone like an animal on our ranch, we can see the animals year after year after year, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you watch Hoback year after year after year.
Yes.
I could see these animals and I could show people what an animal, how their antlers grow, how they change year after year.
Yeah.
And it's just a neat thing to see how animals do. In a really good water and forage year, their antlers can get really big. And then the next year you kind of have a drought. And even though they're older, their antlers could actually be smaller because they don't have quite the nutrition to get there. So it's just a neat thing. And photography to me goes so well with wildlife and the value. I don't do much photography with iPhones, obviously, but now everybody can be a wildlife photographer, which
Yeah.
is the neatest thing. They can show their people. I mean, I think wildlife has really been lifted up with the advent of great cameras and iPhones.
Yeah. I mean, just standing in the Tetons this last time, people were just so excited with their
Yeah,
iPhones. And, we get so picky that
I
you
know.
forget, you forget like how excited everyone else is too.
Yeah,
And maybe we've lost a little bit of that buzz when we see them, but you get
yeah.
people around you with their iPhones and you realize how exciting
Yeah,
it is.
and I think that brings value to the wildlife. If like the 399 thing, I mean, it didn't matter if it was on your iPhone and you took it, you're excited about three. You now felt you had a connection with
Yes.
399, and
Yes.
right, and so you might give some money to the Bear Foundation because of
That's
that
great.
experience you
Yeah.
had.
And so to
So
go buy some
it's,
books in the national park store and
yeah,
support the park. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah, Rob Hirsch was saying last week, if we all just he did the good thing, all of us who are photographers or people that love the photography, if we did good things with it or did a small thing with it, it'd make a huge difference,
right,
huge
right.
difference. So, but what a blessing to be able to see life cycles of all those animals on your ranch too.
It's pretty special. We'll have
Yeah.
times like when we first got up here, the elk rut, it happens right around the house,
Mm,
and so they'll be right by the window, and we sleep with our window a little open because we have a little creek that runs by the house, and the elk would just bugle at 2 a.m. Right? We're probably 30 feet from a 700-pound, 350-inch bull elk. And my wife thought they were in pain at first, like ooh, this animal's not happy. And now she understands that they're very happy, right, with their
Yeah.
bugling.
Yeah.
And so I had one time where a 6-point mature bull had an itch in his forehead between the two antlers. And so we have this stone beneath our window. So he's rubbing his head, but his antlers are hitting our window. And I think he's going to break my window.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he wouldn't leave. I had to open the window more to butt the window against it. I'm like literally 18 inches from this big bull elk, but I got a window between us. But
Yeah.
that's the only way I could get that up. But that's the kind of stuff that happens on a fairly routine basis up here. It's
That's
amazing.
crazy. Now,
It's pretty fun.
do you have grandchildren that get to come see all this?
They
Or
love it here.
I was gonna
They
say,
spend weekends here. Whether sometimes their parents come with them, sometimes the parents don't come with them.
yeah.
It's a camp out for them. You know, they
That's
love it.
right. And what a
Yeah.
joy to be able to walk alongside them and teach them and show them
Yeah.
all this. That
It's
is
very,
really, that is really,
yeah,
really
it's
cool.
what I live for. Those two grandkids that
Yeah.
I live.
Yeah. So well, speaking of that, can you speak a little bit, looking back since you started wildlife photography, what it's done for your mental and emotional health, and like what aspects of it have helped those areas? Or I don't think they harm those areas. So I assume helping those areas.
Yeah. So before I got into wildlife photography, I was a golfer, and
Mm.
I played Division I golf. I'm a golfer, loved golf.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had a bad day on the golf course, Casey knew it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she just knew I was not happy. Okay. I go to wildlife photography. I don't have to see an animal. I can be hiking just to be outdoors. I come back happy. I don't
That's
have to
right.
have
Yeah.
a single image on my camera. I'm happy. I'm relaxed. I have a memory of the clouds. I have a memory of the sun or the aspen leaves whistling.
Mhm.
It is the most calming, relaxing, regenerating. I love it. It's
Yeah.
outdoors been a passion of mine, and to this day, I'm still as excited to go out and hike around. It could be the same mountain over. I love it every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like, just from what I know of the people I've met through the podcast and through Instagram, is that you're building quite a nice group of people and community that you can
Yeah,
trust.
it is. Well, I mean, just look at the people in the chat.
I know, it's so nice.
They're all really special people. Some I've grown up with, some are new from Instagram.
Mhm.
Just as an example, someone who I just, got known for Instagram recently, but had never met before, called. He lives in Salt Lake City.
Mhm.
His name is Reda.
Retta,
He's the
yeah.
only person I know that's Retta.
Mhm.
He calls me
Yeah.
and says, "Hey, let's do a day trip to the Tetons." I'm thinking, are you crazy? That's 10 hours of driving and he says, "Hey, I've done it. It's great. We did it. It was awesome." And
Yeah.
now I got to have a new friend. I mean,
I love
10
it.
hours in the car, you get to know each other.
Yep.
It's that kind of stuff. You have, Doug and Erica Reddick, who I would do a lot for. They're the most special couple, one of the
They
most special
are.
couples I've ever met. And I can't wait to the next time I'm going to be with them. They make me laugh. They make me cry. I mean, they're just really special people. So
They
it's that kind
are.
of stuff that happens. And then I was honored to be selected, these moderators for these
Oh,
wildlife things.
yes.
So
Yes.
I'm a nut about wildlife, right? So it's a the nutty families. You have nuts about birds, nuts about
Yes.
wildlife, okay, and macro and squirrels, and it's just a really cool community of people. And so I've got to know that group of people, and we support each other like that. It's really neat. So there's so many different ways, whether it's through social media or individually going on these trips together.
Mhm.
I've done several trips with Kate and Adam Rice, car
Mhm.
photography.
Yes.
Just solid people.
Yes.
They make your life happy. My wife doesn't do photography, but she loves being on the trips with Kate and Adam because we know we're going to do things together. Scott
That's
and Jackie
nice.
Stone, another couple like
Yes.
that, I'll be going to do fishing wolves with them, and they're with us for Yellowstone.
That's
And these are their careers, and yet they're the most nicest. They would give their spot up for anybody,
yeah.
even though they're making a career out of it. That's how special these people are.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
I hear that over and over about the people that you're talking about, and the Nuts About Wildlife community. I feel like you all are so supportive. If you ever get featured on that, everyone jumps on and supports. It's so nice.
It's a great
I
community.
think that's where you met Horatia. Is that where you know Horatia from?
Yes.
She was with me in the Tetons this fall.
Oh,
So
really?
nice. Yes,
Yeah.
so nice, so kind. And it's just, the little community is just like they're spreading and connecting. And I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah. It's a really good group of people. We love featuring the wildlife, and then squirrels and macro and birds.
Yeah.
I'm on a wildlife team.
Yeah.
But we love it. Again, it's a way to lift up other photographers because I've been
Yeah.
lifted up. I've been
Yes.
featured, and it makes you feel so happy when someone features your work. So we want to do the same thing. So anybody listening, if you want to be featured on That's About Wildlife, we'd love to see your work. If I'm not already following you, I want to follow you so I
Yeah.
can see your work.
Yeah, that reminds me, like when whenever I think it was the episode Jenny Cannon and Maureen interviewed me, Jenny was so sweet looking in the chat and following everyone in the chat that she didn't follow yet. So people, keep track of these names in the chat and go and
Absolutely.
follow each other, follow Jim. It's so fun to get connected. It really is.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
It's a community. It's a very
It
special
really
community. And
is.
you know what? I don't know what your politics are, what your
That's
religion
right.
is, where you were born. I have no idea. And I love everybody the same. And I have to assume some are one side of the political on the other, and I couldn't tell you the difference.
I know.
It's,
I know.
it's so cool.
I
It's
love it.
just a great community. Yeah.
It's because that one thing, that joy of wildlife just
Yeah.
connects us all, and we don't need to know. We don't need to know. It
And
doesn't
I think we
matter.
all have this feeling of how precious wildlife really is.
Yes.
So
I agree.
it's
Yes.
it's a lot about the image, but we know that it's the wildlife that's really attracting us to why we're going out there and doing that.
Yes. I think one of the things that it's really struck me in the last, years doing this is like you realize watching them how much they strive they have to do to survive,
Yeah,
how much there is, and you don't want to stress them, or
yeah,
you're just in awe of them and what they
yeah,
have to go through, and the cycles, like you said, watching all those cycles over the years and what they have to
yeah,
do to
yeah.
just persevere. It's amazing. It's amazing. I have such a respect now for every little while. I mean, I'm so like worried over my squirrels outside now. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you've been on some fabulous trips with with some of the friends you've mentioned. And so what are some of your favorite places? And we'll look at some of your images because you sent me some beautiful images.
Well, thank you. It's hard, like, who's your favorite kid, right? It's
I
really
know.
hard to decide. But I'll tell you, because of my passion for the wildlife itself, the fewer mechanical things in the way, the better for me. So if I can be on the ground with the
Hmm.
animal, it's way more special than in a Jeep or a Range Rover or a Polar Tundra buggy.
Yeah.
So I'd have to choose the pumas of Patagonia and the fishing bears of Alaska.
Okay.
Now, it's
Let's look
just
at a.
coincidentally that was both with car photography, but
Yes.
that's how great they are. I mean, they're north of the equator, south of the equator. They're everywhere and do such a great job. And my wife, Casey, again, the non-photographer, got to be on both of them with me, which may be
Oh,
why it's that
wow.
special too. But yeah, there
Oh,
you go.
wow.
I mean, that's something you're seeing every day
I
on
know.
in
I'm just
Patagonia.
all the images coming out of it. So I'm showing, if you're listening and you can't see the podcast right now, we're looking at a beautiful puma on top of the rocks in Patagonia. Jim, tell me a little bit about like how did this happen and what was happening when you shot this?
Well, yeah. So this is early in the trip, and I think maybe day two.
Hmm.
Overcast, perfect lighting
Yeah.
in the morning, and we said we knew where this puma is. So when you're there, you have a tracker that's letting your guide know where these pumas are. So you're not spending a lot of time out there searching. You pretty much know where they are, and
Hmm.
so you can kind of see in the image. If you look at the eyes tell such a story so often. This puma's hunting. Left
Yes.
her cubs behind to hunt. And so, again, you have just a soft background, you have the little moss on the rocks, and you can kind of see it's a little breezy because you can see the little grasses are kind of moving left to right. And we saw where she was. We had sometimes she was a long way away, but you just kind of predict and you don't have to chase them. You kind of wait and they don't even care that you're there. You can be, 40, 50 yards, even sometimes less if they're walking by. You just stay really quiet and they just walk right by. These are wild. These are wild
Crazy.
pumas that are hunting
Crazy.
Wanaka. It's amazing.
Yeah. And you can see in those eyes and that furrowed brow almost that like, yes, honing in
Yeah,
on something. Yes, that's
right.
so
And
true.
this one, was just an incredible thing. This one actually got a European hare.
Mm,
So it's really interesting to kind of watch how they, how they do that. But
yeah.
it's really neat. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, you sent me another one too, and I think she had kittens, so I want to show that one.
Yeah. So then a couple of days later, come back and
Yes.
she's actually has her few-month-old kittens with her. Again, I thought it was kind of backlit.
Hmm.
You have one. I tried to not have the food they were eating in the image, but so this one has one. The baby's eating one of the babies eating one. The other
Hmm.
mother is already noticing that maybe there's something nearby, a little bit of a threat. And so,
Yes.
you know, ears perked up, again, a very fearful look, looking back. The baby's, you know, look at the expression. The baby has zero cares at all, right? Because she's protected. But the mother, boy, what a different look. And
Yeah.
then soon afterwards, actually, an uninvited puma came in and tried to share. And although there was a little growling, they actually shared. And so in
Mm.
Patagonia, these pumas will often share with unrelated, of course, a lot of them are related, but unrelated other pumas to try to help out, to just to know, hey, we've had our share. This puma needs a little bit too. And that doesn't happen nearly as often with the wild, you know, cougar, puma, mountain lions of North America. But
Right.
recently, I just Doug Reddick sent me something to look at. And actually, they have documented there has been some sharing with North
Oh,
America as well, but they do it often down there in Patagonia.
that's interesting. Yeah. And don't they work in Patagonia a little bit better with the farmers and things like
Yes,
that?
and
Yeah, that's what I
yes,
thought.
and
Yeah.
and and so again, like Botswana, like a lot of things where the hunting tourism was what brought in a lot of money in the past. Now ecotourism, photographic tourism has replaced that. So now the animals can thrive in a non-threatened environment, but yet the
Mhm.
ranchers and farmers can get paid for the depredation of what they're losing. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It seems like a
It's
successful
a very good
strategy.
partnership. The people
Yes.
down there are great. I hope it stays. You never know. Right now, it's like if anybody can afford it and can go in the next year or two, please do. You just never know what's going to happen down there, you know, but
That's true.
it's incredible.
That's true. Yeah, I have a friend there right now. Yeah.
Good.
And fishing bears in Alaska. So
I
this
mean,
is
does it get any
September.
better,
I mean, I've
right?
never been, Jim. I've
Oh,
only been for,
Jen,
I
you gotta
know.
go. You
I know.
gotta
I
go.
just went this spring for cubs. And so I have not done the fishing bears yet, though. I really want to. Look at those salmon eggs just flying all over the place. The red, that is so cool with the
You,
water.
you're in the river with them. Your eye level down low. I mean, it is
Ugh,
just incredible. You know, and so there are a lot of ways to do it. You know, stay out there with the bears. You know, in tents and whatever,
mm-hmm,
which I would be happy to do. But
mm-hmm,
Casey, not so much. She wants the hair
mm-hmm.
dryer or curling iron. So Kate and Adam have figured out a way to have an actual lodge, and you
Yes.
fly in every day on float planes. I mean, it's just unbelievably amazing, great in food. And so you're in the river with these bears, and there's like sometimes there's 10 of them all in the river with you, and cubs, and you know you have the beautiful sound of the river wishing through all the time. There's no bugs because they're you know you just that time of year, and they're just going salmon after salmon after salmon after salmon, and it's just so fun to watch them. So it's just one example of, you know, they squeeze them. They love the roe, the eggs, because of
Yes.
the protein, and you know they'll take the skin, and sometimes they'll leave the rest for
Yeah.
the seagulls and
Yeah.
ravens and other things.
Yeah. I know. It was funny. I think it was, who was it that was showing the picture, and that it said the seagulls are always in the way.
Yeah, sometimes they sometimes can be. We were warned of that. But
Yes.
this was special, and it was just every day. Like, how do you
Yeah.
top that day? Well, the next day somehow they
Ah,
top it.
I
It was
just don't
amazing.
know if there's any other feeling as good as a feeling as sitting next to the water watching bears.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
it's
had it yet.
yeah. And
I think
sometimes you know you're fishing, and maybe there were six of us on the river. Some are non-photographers, but
Mhm.
there was so often you would just put the camera down,
Mm,
look at each other to say, "Can you just believe this?"
yes,
And
yes,
just watch and just
yes,
enjoy God's nature right in front of
absolutely.
you. Yeah, unbelievable. It was
Absolutely.
amazing.
That's how our group was this spring too, watching Cubs and everything. We just
Yeah,
looked at each other like, "Sh- can you believe, like, pinch us, pinch me, pinch me." It was crazy. Just crazy.
yeah,
It's a little
it
piece
is.
of paradise. It really
Yeah,
is.
very
And then
special.
I know you said you went to the Tetons just recently. So I know
Yeah,
you love going there. And you
love
sent
going
me a
there. Those,
beautiful moose photo. Let me see if I can, I'll find the more the portrait of him, the bigger bull. That
and
is a
so
gorgeous image.
thank you. So I photographed this bull Sunday, 2 days ago.
Hmm.
Um, and he looks very similar, but slightly different. A little
Hmm.
different configuration in the front. He's a year older now, so a little bit
Hmm.
bigger, actually stronger looking.
Yeah.
And so you know this really is the new, as I posted today on my Instagram. He's the new king of the Tetons.
Yeah.
You know, Hoback has an incredible life story. You know, 17 years is what I know they tell him. It's amazing for a bull, 17-year-old, still with beautiful antlers. But this guy here is in the prime of his life.
Yeah.
And so just a stunning bull. You know, I'm eye level, could get that nice soft background. You can see the Tetons in the back with that snow in the canyons there. Just out in the flats, like that's where they are right now, out in the
Yep.
flats. If anybody can get to the Tetons in the next couple of weeks, this is what you're going to see. And it's stunning. It's
It
beautiful.
is stunning. That the blurred sage and grasses looks really pretty around him too. I'm, you know, I guess I shouldn't have said that about the bears because I was telling you before we got on, like just to be out there. I was out there on my 50th birthday with these guys just like that. And I don't know that
Amazing.
besides my family, I'm so sorry, but I mean, I don't know how I could have wanted to spend it any other way, you know, under
Yeah.
the grand. And it's
Well, and
special.
that's you know, you may ask one of the questions coming up, but I my 402.8 lives with me.
Mhm.
It's just something, again, part of my ophthalmology eye surgery thing of wanting to be tight and crisp
Yeah,
and have a really good blurred background. That 2.8 open is just the
I
best for me.
know. I know. I
I need to get
totally
better at the
agree.
landscape stuff. I need to get better at
Well,
that.
let's
And
talk about that because you say that, and then you have two beautiful images you sent me, and I thought, how am I going to show this as like something he needs to work on whenever
I
he's
need,
showing how beautiful images, just like
oh,
that. So
thank
this
you.
is more of an environmental image with an
Yeah.
Alaskan brown bear walking along the coast with the water, all
So
the
again,
green trees behind him. So this is the same fishing bears trip.
it is.
Uh-huh.
Here we're at the Brooks camp, you know, the
Hmm.
Brooks
Yeah.
Falls, Brooks Lake. And so most of the time you're watching them catch the salmon, which is really cool. But I was, you know, after, you know, 1,000 of those images and you know that everybody else has got thousands of those images, it's fun for me to see the image that I wasn't expecting. And this
Yes.
is one of those that's just like value added. Never thought of it. You're just walking along, nice reflection. And I
Yes.
love that kind of overcast. And I love those fir trees with the alders and the grasses. And so,
Yes.
yeah, I pulled my inner Jen and I flipped my camera sideways and I gave it a little more of a landscape look.
I'm a little addicted to them.
Well, and you do great work. So
Oh, thank you.
it's the great photographers that showed me that. This is, I got to do that. I need to learn better about that. So thank you for.
This is
Yeah.
really good. I love this image. I really do. And that paw is up, a nice bottom third of the frame. It's really pretty. Shows where you are. It's so pretty. And then of course you got the classic one with the moose in front of the grand. This is now a shot everybody would like since I think Isaac started this.
Oh yeah,
Spots, but you got a reflection, you've got the grand in the back, that beautiful waterway, and a moose looking right at you. It's so pretty. And that looks like really good light too.
yeah. Well, thank you. It was good. I was with Doug and Erica on this trip,
Uh-huh.
and it was just it was very special. And you know, again, it was Isaac. It was you know, Kate and Adam had a great
Yes,
picture of
Kate
it.
and
There's
Adam do
several
too.
different
Mhm.
people. So you try to emulate what they do, what the experts do. And so I was happy with how this came out. And 2 days ago, I was telling you earlier before we started, we had 6 bulls in the same waterway.
Wow.
And again, my favorite picture has 4 of them in it. When it gets to 6, it was like whose butt and whose antlers, and it was crazy.
Yes, yes,
But being in the presence of 6
it
bull
really
moose
is.
in this waterway, it was crazy. And I walked straight in. I didn't have any hip waders. I couldn't. I'm going in, right?
You're like, Jim
So
can't help it. Jim's gone.
yeah. Casey was not too happy about the smell of the pants that I brought back, but it was special.
Oh, that's so cool. I still haven't seen one in that side of the waterway, but just a reminder to everybody, you do have to stay 25 yards away and give them their space and do
Yeah.
not circle them. Unfortunately, people get really excited in the Tetons and start circling them and stay on one side of them. So I hope they're not going to become I mean, it's gorgeous in the
Yeah.
winter with them.
Well, Jen, you bring up a really good point. The 25 yards is the rule,
Mhm.
but the surrounding them, even at 50 yards or 75 yards, that's
Mhm.
going to make them nervous. So
It does.
team up with everybody, get in one side, get in a
That's right.
line. And Kate and Adam are really good about that with their bears. Just
Yes,
don't present something to an animal that makes them look like they need to be concerned.
that's
So
right.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, don't surround them. I see that happening a lot. And also, it's not good ethics in terms of photography when you're getting in everyone's shot. So be mindful of other photographers when you're in a group like that. Be mindful of the animals first and foremost. But I see it happen in this time of year in the Tetons where people just think that they need the shot and they just walk right around and get right in the shot and they harm the animal. And They don't make photographers very happy.
Yeah.
So let me see. I forget you sent me. Oh, I know what you sent me from the Tetons as well. And this reminded me of you seeing eyes really well because of the fox, this fox and the Tetons in the snow. You won something for this, didn't you? I remember that going around last year or this.
Yeah, it was an image that I dreamed about for a long time.
So beautiful.
Most people get this image way before I did. It took me a lot of time to find that fox, the perfect fox in the perfect snow with the perfect view, the
And
background.
the light.
Yeah. It was great. And I'm within literally, a few feet of Doug and Erica when I'm taking this picture. They get another one. Just seems like they're good luck for me because
It's those
when they're with
Twizzlers.
me, I get some good luck. But it was, Jen, it's just beautiful. We watched her mouse, we watched her run around. She
Oh,
stayed in the area, and then in fact, most of the pictures I got of her was the day before, and then the day after when we saw this one, we were just on our bellies, and we would go 10 feet and just see how she reacted and just stay there for a while and go 10 more feet. And she never moved. She was just happy. And then we left and she was in the same spot. It wasn't like she ran away and we left.
right.
She was comfortable the whole time. And
Yeah, you didn't influence her behavior. Yeah.
yeah, it was just really, really special. So yeah,
That is so special.
it's my favorite fox image that I've taken.
Oh, it's beautiful. I got some in the Tetons last year, but they were kind of in a snow bowl, and so everything was turning purple. So it was really hard, and the sun was setting. So that was my first time too with the fox in the snow, but it was not easy, and the snow did not look crisp and white. So that's really nice light that you had, and look at that gaze right at you, and the nose and whiskers. It's so pretty. Everyone, if you're listening, it's a fox curled up in the snow looking right towards the camera. So it's very pretty. That's a good one, Jim.
Thank you.
That's
I
a
love that
keeper.
winter coat,
Yeah. Yes, that's true. That winter coat.
Yeah.
That's a good point too. Even with elk and things like that, the coat and the season really do make a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Because when I was first starting, I remember, I think I did the Creative Live course with when Tom Mangelson did that. And I remember him talking about the elk and their coats don't look that good in the spring. And in my mind, I'm like, anytime I see an elk, I don't care. I don't care,
It's the antlers,
Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. The coats are different.
Yeah. Even the bighorn sheep, any
Absolutely.
animal.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one of you said some of your favorite species are cats. So you shared a bobcat with me, and you can tell us about that image as well. Let me get that up for you.
So I've always loved cats. They're so independent, elusive, right?
Yes.
Nocturnal. They're so difficult to photograph. The exception, of course, in Africa where they're out all the time.
Yeah.
But again, the pumas or jaguars in the Pantanal or tigers in India. And I know Jen Hadley, I think she guides or has a trip in India, and they're sending some amazing images of her tigers.
Yeah.
So I just love cats. Well, we have bobcats on the ranch, but the ranch bobcats, if they even think you're nearby, are gone. They're gone before you rarely even see them. Usually you're just seeing a little quick thing. Well, this location in California, and I'm not one to want to ever hurt the experience of a photographer and give locations per se. But this is Point Reyes in California, and it's so well known. I feel comfortable saying it's Point Reyes. And if for people that love bobcats, it's an opportunity to really see bobcats. And I don't know another place in America that consistently can show bobcats like this. So it's a stunning state park. It's beautiful. It's got raptors. It's got Thule elk. It has coyotes. It has river otters. It's got elephant seals. They're at a beautiful lighthouse, a stunning lighthouse. So it's a hidden gem and jewel. And again, I apologize for people that kind of have it to themselves. I'm not that everybody's going to flock out there, and it's so well known. But I might see 2 or 3 other photographers out there. I typically go in an off season because I really like the green. I love that green grass that's there. In California, it can be pretty dry at times. So there's that time in the winter time that's nice. So these are cats that you don't ever want to go directly toward them. They'll get a little nervous, but you can sometimes walk alongside them and look at their path while they're hunting and kind of go. And then if you think you know where they're going to be, just sit down and be patient and don't move. And they'll sometimes walk by you. And this cat, a nice male, you can see he's a little bit damp. It's kind of a drizzly day. And but he's hunting. and just sat down to look at me, wasn't uncomfortable. That actually, I have photographs also of him actually curled up, sleeping, eyes closed, just, and you're there. You're there, 25 yards, 30 yards. And you don't go 30 yards. They come to you 30 yards as they're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
doing their stuff.
yeah,
But anyway, so it's an opportunity that I think is so rare in the United States to be able to see bobcats like that. That's
yeah.
my goal someday is a lynx, that this picture with a lynx is what I would really
I'm
love.
sure. I'm sure. Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to ask you. What are some of your goals coming up? What are your artistic goals? Or like, I guess the lynx is a goal,
Yeah.
and you
Well,
have
an
it
artistic goal,
visualized.
like I was saying, animal small in frame, trying to really understand it. I
Yeah.
think one of my mentors for that is, Doug Reddick. He keeps telling me, Jim, come on, get that landscape lens. This can be really pretty. And so he's helping me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
keeping me out of my comfort zone.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so I want to do more of that. We'll be in Yellowstone. That's a great animal small in frame place with a bison, with
Yes,
the
absolutely. And
breathing the
snow.
frogger,
Yes,
the coyote on a hill.
yes.
So that'll be something. So I do want to get better at that. I appreciate when I look at other people's images. I just don't think mine are quite to that skill set yet. So I'll get there. I'll keep trying.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, from a species point of view, I'm going to be going. I want to photograph. I don't know if you saw Doug and Erica's fishing wolves when they run your podcast. Unbelievable,
Unbelievable.
just like a
If people haven't
dream
seen
shot
that
of mine.
episode, go back and listen to
Yeah,
Doug and Erica's episode so you can see that wolf and hear their story. Yeah.
incredible. So I want that experience, and then maybe even whether it's Ellsworth Island or some other, when you can get wolves that are not scared of you, that would have their normal behavior near you, that just seems amazing to me. So that's on my list from a species point of view. Lynx, again, it's a cat. They're so hard to get. Somehow people get them, and they're just
They do.
amazing. So I dream of that shot. I don't know how I'll ever get that, but someday. And, Jenny has a beautiful lynx kitten. I think it was up in Nome, Alaska. Sometimes we'll see them up there. So maybe
Wow.
that's an opportunity. But that's what I'd love to do. And I went to Churchill and did the polar bears with a really good friend of mine, Greg Trubowitz, and his wife, Holly. Great experience. Met Pam and Warner Hudson, doctors. I mean, just really neat people that I'd never met before. Still great friends, after that trip. But we were in the one of those polar tundra buggy things. So you're shooting down a lot. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if I did it again, I'd go either the Churchill and be on the ground with the bears, or if somehow I could do the Svalbard
Yeah.
thing, that'd
Yeah.
be a dream come true. So those are just
Yeah.
who knows if I'll ever get there, but those are my dreams. You gotta
Yeah.
always have a dream.
I know. And we've just got the bug, Jim.
Yeah, I got the
Like,
bug.
many people would be like, they want to see wolves. They want to sit on the ground with polar bears.
Yeah, I know.
They're crazy. But
Yeah.
polar bears are a different story. But it's like that fear is not there when you're practicing it well and you know the rules, you know how to be safe, you have your
Yeah.
lens, you've got your guide, Some
Yeah.
people think we sound crazy, but we are a little bit crazy. We love these
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, that when you have an experienced guide,
Yes,
they're monitoring the behavior every second.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And so they know when a bear, coyote, wolf is nervous or whatever,
Yes.
they know. And when they're
Absolutely.
comfortable and you're comfortable, there's nothing better.
Yeah, there's nothing better. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, if you have questions for Jim, go ahead and put those in the Q&A box, and we're going to get to those in a minute. But Jim, is there someone that's given you a really good piece of advice that runs through your head as you're shooting, or just something you keep in mind, or maybe there's a couple pieces of advice you've gotten?
Well, yeah. So one thing I did when I kind of felt like maybe I was stagnant a little bit a few years ago, and there was an opportunity to do a mentorship with Tin Man Lee. And it was about 10 photographers, whatever. It was a year-long course. Once a week, you do a Zoom thing with everybody, you send them images. And I mean, he is incredible, right? He is, if you don't know who Tin Man Lee is, look him up. He is the guru of wildlife photography, in my opinion. He's just incredible. So during that mentorship, I learned to get low, get really low, lower the better, get that perspective. It makes all the difference in the world. It just 6 inches can sometimes make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Don't photograph until you really know your background is good. It's a non-photo. That's his term, non-photo. When you're
Yeah.
photographing an image and it's the perfect image and here's this big white rock or a funky tree, you're done. You just can't, so his idea, don't take pictures of, just get it ready, be ready for that right image and do that. So I don't take nearly as many images. I'm really careful about that. I'm making sure there's no distractions in the background. So he has really helped that to me a lot. Get
I'm
low,
sure.
be tack sharp on the eye, and
Yeah.
have a great background.
Yeah.
And then if you have that, almost every image is a good image.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been a huge help for me. He's got all kinds of videos you can watch and get
Yeah.
better. He's really talented. But anyway, he's been my main value of getting to a next level. I got a lot of levels to go, but he got me past a level where I feel like I'm way more comfortable with images.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, there are always things to learn, always things to learn. And I know it's like get low, almost low where your cheeks are
I,
mashed.
to get a good loon picture.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so these people that float in the water with their floating camera thing, that I need one of those. That is the perfect perspective, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I know my sister-in-law, we were on a boat with her in Michigan, a pontoon boat in Michigan, and I'm like, wait, that was a loon. I just heard a loon, and I've got my face on the metal pontoon boat. Yeah. she's trolling me. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm so crazy. I'm sorry, I'm so crazy. We'll get back to the kids here in a second. But we got to get low. We got to get that animal.
You gotta be low.
Got to get that animal. So it looks like we do have some questions for you. So Lori was asking, where did she go? She said, I know she asked what is the best lens to take to Patagonia?
Well, it's a great, again, there's a lot of options. For my style of photography, the 400 2.8 is the perfect lens, but that's a very expensive lens, and not everybody can afford a prime lens like that.
Yeah.
So these 100 to 500 zooms that most of the manufacturer making is a great lens to have. So I think that is great. I think again though, if anybody's seen Kate Rice's photograph of the Puma and the pillar towering mountains behind, well, you need that landscape lens for that.
That's
so
right.
so I took two bodies. So I'd have the 24 to 105 or 70 to 200 handy, really close, and then the big lens, so I could go back and forth, because like the Tetons, both are stunning. Right?
Yeah.
When you have such a beautiful mountain range, you kind of want that in your image that looks stunning. So the 70 to 200 works really well with that. But the 1 to 5 gives you a lot of options. So I think if I had to buy one lens and I had to get landscape photos too, I do the 1 to 500.
Yeah, I think that's right. I did that. I used that on my first trip to Alaska. They would say 1 camera body, 1 lens, because we were flying in and out every day.
Yeah.
And they had weight restrictions on us. And so it was always like, I don't know. And I would take the 100 to 500, and it worked with the landscape and the close-up.
Right. I would, and again, one other suggestion I would make, buy the best equipment than you could afford. Don't take a loan out or not pay off a credit card. But glass is expensive, and as an eye surgeon, you get what you pay for when it comes to lenses and cameras. But what I have found, there are some companies, and I'm sure Jen can give anybody advice that's here, to buy used equipment.
Yeah.
There are some really good companies that will really guarantee how good the quality is, and that can still save you 10, 15, 20% off of what the new is. Absolutely. And so I've done that too, but get the best you can. I think that's my advice.
I did that so many times too. And Robert's Camera offers us 10% off used. So I just did that last weekend. I had not switched yet to a 24 to 70 RF. And I was still using a really, really old 24 to 70 EF. I walked in, he had one still in the box, pristine, used. And then I said, I have a Jen Ritchie VIP code. And he's like, oh yeah, she does a lot with Roberts. Like, oh yeah, that's me. They're like, cool. oh. So I got a really nice deal on that. And, running a small portrait business here in town, every dollar counts. So that I was glad to do that. And then in terms of are you pursuing more education, or do you have goals for that? How do you go about you found Tin Man, and then will you over the next year find other things for education wise, or?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You know, again, Tin Man had a Facebook group,
Yeah.
mentored that, and I listened to that a little bit, see if there's anything new out there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll look at some YouTube videos just to kind of see what's
Right.
happening.
Yeah.
What I found some of the best is friends of, you know, say at my level, whatever, maybe advanced intermediate, like if you're a skier, maybe that's what you'd be. You're not nearly as good as
Yeah.
some of these really good people, but you're good, you're pretty good. And so, you know, so Greg Trubowitz and I is a friend of mine that's on a lot of these trips. And he's harsh sometimes, and I'll show him an image, and he'll tell me why I should get a little better. Doug and Erica, I'll throw images to them back and forth. I really enjoy it. I believe iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And I have a thick enough skin, but I get way better when someone will really say, well, hey, Jim, look, you may not have noticed this. And the minute they tell you what it is, like,
That's
I
right.
can't believe I didn't see that, right?
I know.
And it
Yes.
just, because it requires just a different eye.
That's
And
right.
so to me, the Instagram followers, the friends have been very helpful for me, you know, when I
Yeah.
reach out like that. So that's been great.
Yeah. It's really nice. Okay, we have another question from James Shuler. I don't know if you know him or not. This is your
Well,
nephew, I think.
yeah, he is.
That's awesome. He says, tell me about those magic moments when you plan for days and you stalk for hours, but the sun is just going to give you minutes for the perfect lighting. All those things have to come together. In those moments, are you more anticipating the shot or more reacting to what the subject gives you?
Well, so first of all, I think James must have done Grok to get that because that's so well written, James, so well written. So I think there's some AI made, some large language model. So that's a great question. I mean, I
He's
love
gonna
that
probably
question.
talk here in the chat.
That's a, I love that question.
Yeah.
So a good example was recently I'm on the ranch and I've got a moose and the sun is setting and the moose is behind a bush and it's just not going to be perfect. And I know if I can just get him to step out 10 or 15 feet, it'll be just that really nice lighting. And so I just did a little, it was during the rut. So I did a little moose grunt call and boy, he just walked right toward me. Like, what is that noise? And if you go back into my Instagram and just look at, you know, at that perfect, is that, you know, that golden hour, you can see the mountain range and the sun right at the edge of the mountain range, the Wasatch Mountain in his cornea at that moment. And had he not come out, it just wouldn't have been there. And if he came out too soon, it would have been too harsh and maybe he wouldn't have stayed there long enough. You know, I have to be honest, most of the time I make that grunt, the moose doesn't do anything. This one time, he just did exactly as I was hoping he would do, and it allowed that to happen. So for the most part, honestly, and this is probably selfishly, I'm looking for the image because if I can show people what I just experienced, I feel like I'm giving of what I saw to others. And if I keep
Yeah.
it within myself, I only get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it was really neat that happened. And it is a special moment when you have that, it could be a cloud blocking the sun for just a second to get that really nice soft light, or it could be, you know, I love blue light, but that golden light, you know, the golden hour right when the sun is just half the sun is behind the mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that kind of light. It doesn't happen often, but it is great. James,
I know.
great question. You're in my will, James. You're in my will.
He's also asked, is there a favorite photo of yours that you love, but no one else seems to like?
You know, it's funny. That's a tough question, but I think the one thing I was a little disappointed about, I thought my polar bear images were pretty neat. I thought they were really good. And I've seen other polar bear images now that I go, oh, okay, I get it. They weren't that great, but they were still pretty good. But I just, for some reason, polar bears don't seem to get the reactions that a brown bear does, or a black bear in a tree in fall colors. So maybe it's the monotonous color or something.
Yeah.
To be, you know, to be near the largest, largest predator in the world, land predator, when you're there, the experience is so amazing. You just assume the photos would be as well. And that's one of those things where I think the photos it's challenging. And maybe some of it too, the weather, it's so cold. I bet my images were slightly softer than I had wanted them to be because of all the different waves. So that was the one thing. It was a great experience, loved every minute of it. But yeah, I think I need to go back and I need to, I'm a little bit better. Maybe I'd take better images now.
Yeah, but also social media doesn't have to dictate what we think is good.
Yeah, good point.
So,
Good point.
but also you get to look at them and remember that feeling and remember,
Yeah.
But we always I just did a presentation a couple weeks ago, and I'm showing the images and I'm critiquing the images as I go. You know, it's like you can always see that the thing you could maybe have done better.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're our harshest critics, but also social media can be pretty harsh as well.
Well, and that's how I think you get better when you're your harshest critic.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You just start seeing it right. And what remaining locations or animals have you not photographed that you wish to capture? Antarctica, the moon. This is from James.
James, you're on a roll. So actually, I am going to Antarctica with Greg and Holly Trubowitz, who I think Greg's on this as well, who I've done so many trips with. Just an awesome, just one of my closest friends. We're going to Antarctica in January of 27.
Oh, wow.
And actually, and again, not to say much more, but if anybody is interested in a photographic Antarctica trip, and this one is one where we'll actually fly to Antarctica. We don't have to take the ship across the crazy water.
Yeah.
But we're able to get a pretty good discount on the trip. So if anybody's interested, just I'll tell you when that is in 27.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one for all the penguins, and just to be in Antarctica, that's going to be incredible. That's one. And like I said before, if I get to Svalbard, that would be something very special as well.
That seems like a dream
And then
trip for a lot
my
of people.
most favorite animal in my mind, I haven't gone yet, and it'll be a while before I go, is the snow leopard. I've been seeing some pretty neat images, but I want to be able to get that camera trap image with my own camera. And you've seen those images that won awards from camera traps up there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. And they're just so elusive and so far away. But I'm wondering if maybe with ecotourism and habituation and more people going, that maybe they would be, and more money going into that area, maybe there could be more of them or easier to get photographically.
Yeah.
That would be that'd be kind of my dream goal. Like if I died the next day after, perfect. That'd be good.
Yeah, those are beautiful. Those are super.
They're special.
There's so many like those kinds of dream trips like that. Yeah, that I hear people saying. It's so nice. And then you have this beautiful ranch that you can be on and get all these moments and all these beautiful animals you have right there and practice and see them grow. And it's just amazing.
It's pretty neat. And I'm out there, again, not in the wintertime because it's a little hard, the weather's a little tough, but during the rut, from say August through October, my goal is to be out there every day. Yeah. And like you said, it's great practice. Even if I can't get a great image, I'm really able to try to work on the skill set a little bit.
Yeah. And people ask, how do I do that? It's like, well, you go to the same place every day. You listen to the sounds, you watch the patterns, you watch the ground, you watch the tracks, and you start listening to what kind of animals are there. And that really helps you you get better.
And if you live in a city, there's going to be a park with ducks in it.
Yes.
There's going to be owls in the trees, even in a city area. There might be so there's even ways of practicing when you can't be out in in an open environment.
Absolutely. I live in a college town, and right in the middle is a 105-acre nature area where I practice and practice and practice with owls and blue heron and ducks and all kinds of things. And you learn your animals, you learn your species, you learn everything. So it does help. I learn like what birds sound like, and Well, if you have another question I see we do have another question for Jim, but if you have one more, just let me know. Amber asks, any desire to photograph the Dalmatian pelicans?
So is that Amber favorite or no?
It is Amber favorite. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Amber.
So she's incredible, right? She's a great, amazing photographer. She was actually part of our 10-man Lee group, our mentorship group. Not that she needed it all like I did, but so the answer is yes. In fact, Doug Reddick had asked me about that before. So I would be interested in that. I need to learn more about that. So
me too.
Message me, Amber, if you would at some point. I'd love to learn that because I know you guys do that and are incredible with it.
Yeah. Well, I think your daughter Jennifer is asking, what is one lesson wildlife photography has taught you that you would pass along to your grandchildren? That's wonderful.
So both James and Olivia are my two grandchildren. I was honored to have another namesake. And James and Olivia, they're on the ranch a lot. They live in Park City, so they live near us and on the ranch a lot. And we actually, James and I and Olivia now, we go out every time they're here. We go out every morning with my camera, and we're looking for animals. Now, to be honest, I do give him a little financial reward if he finds the animal before I do. So that keeps him focused. And so elk, moose, deer, and he's doing really good. That's his little binoculars now, and he's looking around. So the main thing I would say to my grandchildren will be, you got to be patient. You got to be patient and persevere and just keep trying. And if an animal wins you, you think you're going to get it, but you missed it because they got your win, and they're don't worry, it's going to happen again. They're going to get a try again. And when you finally get it, you're going to be so excited, and it's just going to be that bug that never goes away. And so, patience with photography, maybe not quite as much as bird photography, but wildlife photography, that's the number one thing.
Yeah. And like you said, you can still come home and be happy because you were out.
I'm always, yeah. And with them, especially we come back, and it's,
Absolutely.
in fact, the first thing they do, they wake up and say, hey, Grandpa, we got to go. We got to find some animals, right? And that's what they want to do. And so, and we have a thing called the trifecta on our ranch. The trifecta is when we take the grandkids and we go out and we see a buck deer, a bull elk, and a bull moose.
Wow.
And we get that about every maybe third or fourth time when we go out there like that.
Oh
But
my goodness. They're going to think every place is like this.
Yeah. Well, and they live, even though they're in Park City, they have an elk herd that comes and walks and eats their landscaping. So they get to see a lot of that just at their house too. But
yeah, I've only been to Park City once and went up to Silver Lake and then came down. It was so pretty. I'd like to go back.
It's a beautiful place.
Yes, beautiful. Well, let's do the speed round. And if there's another question, we can answer it. We can come back to it. But I'm going to start the speed round and then we'll go back. But is there something in your camera bag you can't do without?
My 400 2.8.
I know. That thing is like just so special.
It's so special. And it's just the images you get. It makes you look good. I guess that's the best way to put it. It makes the photographer look good.
Yes, but you have to have the skill. You have to have the skill. You have to know how to use it. Well, what is something in your camera bag that you bought but you never use? You could do without it.
Well, I should use it more, but it's that little air blower thing to blow the dust off my lens. I leave it. I don't deal with it. And
I don't either. I don't either.
But I should. I have it sitting right there. I got the big one. I did everything right, but I don't use it.
Yeah, I know. Same. So favorite snack while editing or walking around or driving around to find wildlife?
Well, I'm sure what I'm gonna tell you, probably everybody here is gonna say, well, it's mine too. It's the red vine.
Oh, someone said that in the chat. Someone said
the red licorice. I mean, it's got to be everybody. And not only is it my favorite, I'm telling you, it brings me good luck. I'm not too superstitious, but it brings me good luck. And so when we're out together, and Doug and Erica and Scott and Jackie and Jenny, we're all out together. If it's been 15 minutes without an animal, we're opening up a new red vine package and we're putting it out there. Oh my
goodness!
Now they twizzle. They do Twizzlers. I'm old school. I'm old red vine. They're these next generation, right? They get they fancy Twizzlers, but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And then of course, I do like gumballs. I mean, I feel bad. I feel like my dentist is going to hate me for saying all these things, but I love gumballs. And so same thing. It just seems like if it's kind of, it's a law of averages. If you've gone without an animal for a long time and you don't do anything, you're probably going to get the animal. But the minute you do something, you get the animal, you think it's the licorice, right? You think it's the red.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Erica's so funny. Any minute now, Twizzlers or Red Vines are going to reach out and be a sponsor of the podcast. That would be hilarious. I know. I'm a twist girl. I like the strawberry Twizzlers. So I love those. Yeah. I know. So I think Jennifer Hadley said Swedish fish. So there's other people that have the same thing. The same. It's so interesting. I'm going to have to try this. I have to try it.
There one time we were trying to find cubs and Erica had gummy babies or the sour patch. It was some Sour Patch, get something for the babies. We had to do this and it worked. For suddenly we had all these baby bears. So
everyone's saying they're Sour Patch Kids. Sour Patch Kids. Yes, the Swedish fish, Jennifer. Yeah, it's hilarious. I know. I'm like, I've got to get them in my car. I've got to have them at the ready now.
Yeah, it's so cool. And it's just the neatest thing because if it doesn't happen, you kind of say, well, maybe I need two of them next time. But when it happens, you say, see it happen again. Like a slot machine. It's going to happen once in a while.
That's hilarious. Well, Lori Hill's asking, what's your most memorable encounter with an animal?
That's a great question. There's so many, but just the first thing that came to my head, I think, were the Patagonia mother with her babies.
Yeah.
And to have wild pumas right in front of you, and they're just playing, and the mother's licking the baby, and the baby comes up and licks the mother's face. This interaction that's just so touching. It's just, again, I can close my eyes right now and I see it like it was just yesterday. It just was so special. So I think part of it, just because, there's so many mama baby interactions. You see brown bears everywhere everything, but to see it in a wildcat at 25 yards, this is
Not in a
with your
documentary, not at a
with
zoo.
your
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
With a red vine, it
I was
just
gonna
doesn't get any
say
better.
with a red vine.
It doesn't get any better.
So Jim, is there a moment in wildlife photography that made you laugh?
Yeah, so I like to laugh a lot. And when you're with fun people, you're laughing all the time. And that makes time go so quickly between animal sightings, right?
Yeah.
But we were in the Yellowstone National Park, a winter trip on a snow coach. So Doug and Erica Reddig and Scott and Jackie Stone and Jenny was there with us as well. And we're going down the road and Doug, he's very good at spotting animals. So we had him up at the front of the snow coach. You got a driver who's the guide, and you got Doug, and we were calling him Ranger Reddig because he just was always finding the animals. He was like the ranger. He could be our guide. And so he's in the front. He was spotting all kinds of stuff and just really doing well. So we're in the back. You can't see very well out of here. Windows are iced up. You know, it's just so cold out there. And we're going down. We're actually kind of heading out. We're going down a main road on the snow coach. And out of nowhere, Erica yells, "Bald eagle." And we're like, what? And so the guy's still kind of driving. She says, "Stop, there's a bald eagle right there." And so the snow coach stops and Doug says, "What are you talking about?" And if you know Doug and Erica, they banter back and forth like that. And Erica says, "There's an eagle, a bald eagle right off the road. It's like a perfect shot." And Doug says, "No way. I would have seen that. There's no way." And so of course, Erica now immediately gets her kind of hackles up and now she's gonna prove Doug wrong. And this eagle could have flown away. You never know. But she knows there's a bald eagle, and he says, "No way there's a bald eagle." So we're kind of laughing. So we got to back this whole snow coach back up, and it takes a while to back these things up. And we finally get there, and Doug's going to just prove to Erica that she was totally off. And he's just waiting to prove to her that she's totally, like, she loves that. And we get back there, and here's this perfect bald eagle, mature, on a horizontal snag, eye level, right off the road. We got some just stunning images, and then it would make its little noise and mouth would be
Oh,
open. I
nice.
mean, everything you could hope for in a bald eagle on a stick. But the whole point was the rest of the time, it's like Erica's just rubbing it right into Doug about how it was
Erica
there.
would not do that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But
That's
they just,
wonderful.
they're such a great couple, and they respect each other so much that they can do that and
Yes.
still be fun and laugh. But
Yes.
anyway,
Yes.
we laughed a
And
lot about that and still talk about
yeah, I was going to say, and that's what those trips are about. Sometimes
Yeah.
those same memories. Erica says, never.
it.
Yeah. I mean, those trips, sometimes it's those things that you just talk about forever and those memories
Yeah.
that are made. It's so
Yeah.
fun. So is there a moment in wildlife photography that maybe touched your soul, like filled your emotions or feelings the most?
So there have been some, if you've ever seen like a newborn baby animal, right? So on our ranch, they calve on our ranch. So the deer have fawns,
Oh my
the elk
goodness.
have their calves, the moose have their calves. And so we get to see them in the knobbly knee stage, right? Where they're
Yes.
so dependent on the mother.
Yes.
And so there'll be times where we'll be either hiking around or walking around, you look down, all of a sudden, here's this baby animal at your feet. The mother has left because they're feeding, and they hide their babies in a little something, bushes or grasses. And the babies, baby deer and baby elk have spots. Now they don't once they get older, but the theory of the spots is that when they're in a forest, when the light comes through a forest, it's broken up into little tiny lights. So it just looks like part of the forest floor. And baby elk and baby deer are born without a scent.
Yes.
They'll
Isn't
get
that
scent later.
fascinating?
Yeah. So coyotes and foxes or eagles, they can't smell them. They don't see them as well because of that. But when you're right there and you look and you're inches from this baby that you didn't see, and they look up at you, and they're almost blue eyes at the time, right? It's touching. It almost tears my eyes up right now as I'm just talking about an experience.
Yes.
But those are some of the moments. They're not even photographable because they're right there.
Right.
But they're there, right? There to experience.
Right here.
Yeah, right.
That's
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's so perfect. I love it. I love it so much. I know I was in the local forest here with cars going by everywhere in that little 105 acre, and I was out right at sunrise, and I thought, what is happening? That doe is acting so strange.
Yeah.
And then she looks up, and there's a tiny little thing right there, and cars are going by to work, and I'm like, new life was just born right here, and I got to witness seeing it. It's just a little miracle we get to witness. So much magic out there.
Right.
Much
Absolutely.
magic out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, where can people find you? Where can people connect with you, buy prints if they want to?
So my Instagram handle is Jim, my first name, Jim, and then underscore Schuler. There's no C. I don't know
Mhm.
why. One of my distant relatives, when they came from Germany, took the C out. But so it's Jim underscore SHULER underscore MD
Yes.
is my Instagram. My Facebook is just Jim Schuler. No C. I used to be James Schuler, but my nephew took that from me. So
Yes, yes.
so now I'm Jim Schuler, JIMSHULER. That's basically. I don't have a website.
Yeah.
What I used to do is give my high res images to people that wanted it, and then I realized, or people kind of told me, look, people are trying to make a living, and
Yeah.
so it's probably not fair to them. So now what I do is, I'll donate the money to a charity or what, to animal relate, or I'll ask them to,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. That's nice.
Um, but anyway, it's more. I give a lot of images to the Division of Wildlife Resources here in Utah, Department of
Hmm.
Natural Resources. They can do it for their presentations just to help people understand
Yes.
wildlife better and
Yeah.
educate them.
And
Yeah,
giving back. That's
yeah,
wonderful. We always talk about that. Like, what are the small ways we can give back? And
right.
that's a big way you're giving back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really special. I like it. It's neat when people when you look at one of the presentations, you see that 90% of the image they put on there yours. It's just there's a reward feeling of thank you for that. It's an
Yeah.
honoring, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's Thanksgiving coming up. What are you thankful for, Jim, as we end here?
Yeah, well, there's so much to be thankful for, Jen,
There
right?
is.
It really, I mean, there's just so much to be thankful for. And whether it's the Instagram community or it's my Nuts About Wildlife community, it's about community. And to
Yeah.
me, I was raised this way. My mom and dad were my best friends. It
Hmm.
was all my mom and dad had 70 years of marriage together before one of them passed away.
Hmm.
So family
Wonderful.
is everything to me. And
Yes.
so, my son Michael, my daughter Jenny, her husband Paul, and my two grandkids, I live for those two grandkids. James and Olivia are just the two most special people ever. I mean, everybody grandkids is, but now I appreciate why everybody says their
Yes.
grandkids are
Yes.
so
Now you
special.
can see why. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you don't have a grandchild and you ever can get a grandchild, you're going to understand just how special that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Well, I don't yet. Someday.
You
Someday.
will.
Someday. I
It's
know.
amazing.
I feel the same way, family and
Yeah.
friends and this community, and we have to
Yeah.
focus on all the beautiful things that we get to experience and the way that we can help each other, serve one another. And
Yeah.
I hope this community is doing that a little bit, along with all the wonderful things you all are doing and that you're doing, Jim. I think it does make a difference. I see everyone just, putting so much good out there and working for the wild and working for other people, serving each other. It's just
Yeah.
so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah.
We need it. We really need it.
Yeah. And it's
Right.
rewarding.
It
And it's
is.
rewarding. Yeah.
It really is. It
I
really
had
is.
it, and not to get off topic, I'll be quick, but I'd never done any medical mission trips before. And my daughter, who's also a physician, and her husband a physician, they were medical students at UC Davis and asked me to be the ophthalmologist down in Honduras.
Yes.
And so I did that, and my wife actually came on one of the trips. But you go down there to serve, and they're so appreciative. But when you return, you realize that you got the value from that. That
Yes.
they made you a better person. That
Yes.
they're so thankful that you come back with such a warm heart
Yeah.
that they're giving back to you. So yeah, it's
Yes.
when you give, you get back 10x. There's
I
probably a
agree.
proverb about that or something, right? But it's
Yes.
yeah,
It is so true. And I think
yeah,
sometimes when I get anxious or nervous or down, I'll think, okay, it's about other people, not about
yeah,
me. It's
yeah,
about serving the other person, or doing the some charity or something. It's
yeah,
about not about me. Get out of my funk, get out of
yeah,
my head and serve
yeah,
and try to love other people. And it really
yeah,
does. It really does change how
yeah,
you feel. It does. Well,
yeah.
thank you for sharing that, Jim. That's really special. And I'm thankful that we got to meet and that you
Yeah, I
got
am too. It's
to
awesome. I
be
had
on.
heard so much about you and followed you, and
I
you know,
know.
but now it's real, and it'll get more real when we're like next to each other shooting those
I
moose in the
can't
TT.
wait. I can't
Yeah,
wait. I know. And it will happen. I know it will
yeah,
happen. So
yeah.
I'm really thankful for you being on. And I really do hope for that. I hope that we could be shooting
Yeah,
next
well,
to
I'm
each
sure. I
other.
bet we will. I have a
I bet
feeling
we
we
will
will.
too. I bet we
Yeah.
will too. Well, make sure you follow Jim on Instagram. And if you would like a print from him, just message him and I'm sure he can arrange that. And then you can follow Wildlife Conversations podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. It's Jen Ritchie Photography. All the episodes are there. I believe this is episode 35. And then we have several episodes called Quick Chats on there as well. And then you can also follow me on Instagram at Jen L. Ritchie, RITCHIE. And don't forget to follow Robert's Camera and USEPHOTOPRO, and go take a look at their websites, robertscamera.com, usephoto.pro.com. And I really encourage people to shop small this season. I know there will be a lot of pressure in the ads on our phones and on our TVs to shop big with some of these big companies, but find a small business like Robert's that you can shop with, and family-owned businesses that really make a difference. I really encourage everyone to do that. And our next guest coming up is Madison Webb. She is going to be on December 2nd at 8 p.m. And I'm excited to have her. I've followed her for a long time and her beautiful wildlife, Teton, and wedding photography. So, and if you'd like to support the podcast, you can just follow us on Instagram. And I really appreciate everyone being on. It means a lot to me when you register, when you like things, when you share things, and just when you chat in the chat, it means a lot. So, well, thank you again, Jem. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. This was a real treat for me, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be a good one.
You.
You're going to be busy though, right after that, in and out of there.
It will be. It'll be fun. It will be fun. Those adventures are always fun. Well, thank you everybody for being on. Thanks, Jim. We'll hopefully see you soon. Okay. All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.